Hello everybody, this is Anna, also known as Anna Knitter on Ravelry, Annalena Knitter on Instagram, and on Ravelry we also have a group which has the same name as my podcast, Anna Knitter or Anna Knitter Podcast. You can easily find it by typing in Anna no blank Knitter. If you want to participate in our knit-alongs, make-alongs and all that prize-winning stuff, you have to join our group on Ravelry. And also, without wanting to win a prize, it's a very nice place to be, and you're very welcome to chat with us there. And I'm doing this podcast because I want to keep contact with you, all those crazy knitters, and the best way to do it is on Ravelry, I think. I'm using my Ravelry pretty much, so you can easily reach me there by private message or posting in our group. You also can contact me over or via Instagram, but I won't like to answer there because I only have it on my tablet and on my phone, clear as you all, and I don't like to type on the smartphone. It's so I hate it. I really hate it. I'm old-fashioned and love and enjoy to use my keyboard on my laptop. I'm coming to you from Lower Austria, near to Vienna, but I am I was born and raised in Germany, northern Germany. I'm a northern girl, and yes, I still love my homeland or my hometown, but I'm living in Austria since 2009, and yes, I'm feeling very comfortable here. Nice people, very pretty landscape. Yes. For introduction, I have to say we are doing a year-long make-along. It goes through the year of 2017 till New Year's Eve. It's the blanket along, and you can join and enter all your whips, all your blankets, no matter what crafting technique, sewing, knitting, crocheting, and if there are other possibilities to do a blanket, to craft a blanket, show me, enter, and you can win a few prizes. Depends on how many prizes I get donated or I can afford. I'm sorry. We will draw winners as 4 times a year, but I think we already have more than 4 prizes, so maybe every second month, or I don't know. We will see. You can win. The first thing is you can win 3 skeins of Highland alpaca blend yarn in Aran weight. Another prize is a hand-sewn or custom-sewn pillow cushion by Natasha, who has the shop on Facebook, Betsy's Closet on the Alphabet Street. I think I have it right. On the screen you can read it to be sure that you can find her if you want to purchase something from her. The pillow she made for me is so well made and so comfy, cozy. I use it every day on my sofa, and she will sew it for the winner with the winner's name, so you have to contact her or she will contact you. Another prize is a notebook I purchased for you, and I will add some minis and tees for in addition. And are there other prizes? Yes, Nina from the This Old Knit podcast said in her previous episode that she will donate a self-sewn handmade project bag. She didn't contact me yet, but I'm pretty sure she will do. And so this is another prize. Oh yes, then we have a drawstring bag and a mini skein from Holland Handmade, who is Mama to Abigail on Ravelry and Instagram. And I have another prize for you. It's a Danish cross stitch. I think it's Danish because, yeah, I think it's from Copenhagen. It's a very traditional and I think famous brand. It's this Permin of Copenhagen. Why cross-stitching? Because I will show you in a few minutes. I want to start with cross-stitching, and I thought that's so cute and pretty that I want to inspire you to also start cross-stitching. So cute! It comes with the threads and the fabric. Yes, and a step-by-step instruction. These are the prices for the knit-along. Okay, I think we can go right over to works in progress, and I will start with my blanket because of our blanket along. Yes, I said so. Whips are allowed, you don't have to finish your blanket, and so on and so forth. You will read every rule, and you can see every price in our Ravelry thread. I only, let me think about, yes, I only did add one, did I? Yes. One square on my A Stitch in Time blanket. I have to get the needles out here, I'm sorry. And I don't want to click all the time. I only did add this one. I don't know what it is. It looks like teacup from hedgehog fibers, but it's not that soft as hedgehog fiber normally is, so I don't think it's teacup. But it looks like teacup, I think. It's very pretty. I'm doing the A Stitch in Time blanket. And this is made of, or will be made of 12 blocks, maybe more, but at least 12 blocks of color palettes. Some of my blocks are related to a season or a month. For example, the December block will have all the Christmas colors, red and green and sparkle and gold and so on. My January block was blue, but I think I will have to do another blue block because most of my yarns have blue colors because it's one of my favorite colors. Yes, blue is my favorite color. Yes, to wear for garments and so on. Blue, I love blue. Let's just face it, I love blue. So maybe I will have to do another blue block. And this is the February block. Clear because Valentine's Day, so we have all the Valentine colors here. In the last episode I already told you the other ones, the other brands, and I only added this tiny one because I don't know how long it will take or how long it will go or if I will stay like this, but I became a monogamous knitter. That's weird. And I don't want to knit on the blanket so much because I want to finish my shawl, my other whip. I will show you in just a minute. Just to have it. I know, it's crazy because I always have had, and I still have many things on the needles, but I don't know. I think I'm grateful that I have that steam for one project. But I don't know if I will have that steam for a blanket, for example, because if I will monogamously knitting on a blanket, I will be knitting a year just on one project, and that would be very weird. Okay, my other work in project, that makes sense, right? Work in progress is my Pure Joy from Joji Locatelli. I'm knitting this out of Cardigan Cashmere Classic in cacao, I don't know how you pronounce it in English, cacao color. It's discontinued. I ordered one of the last balls of yarn online, and it already, my mom already received it because I shipped it to Germany because to Austria it was so expensive. 3 times more expensive. And the other color is Hedgehog Fibers Film Noir. And it's already very airy. When I last weighed it, it had 50 gram, and I think that was on the 4th wedge. Because the Pure Joy Shawl is built up by wedges. You start with a garter tab, it's here. Where are you? Okay, you start with a garter tab and then you create with short rows wedges. Here they start, and then you're doing short rows, and then the rows increase and then you're here, and it will get wider and wider, so it's asymmetrical, I think. Yes, it's asymmetrical. Yes, and I'm pretty monogamously knitting on my Pure Joy. I love that knit. It's really only garter stitch. You only have to do the short rows, and once in a while you're doing the lace rows, 2 rows of lace. You don't really have to think about anything. It's very easy, but not boring. It's easy enough, but not too easy to be boring. And I think it depends on your yarn. If you really love the yarn you're knitting with, and if you like the color, it's interesting enough to keep you, just to keep you interested in knitting this and not losing steam. I think if I would do this in a solid color, I think I wouldn't be so much, that's the back side, I wouldn't be so much into it. I think solid colors would be looking better, I think, because as you can see, I'm wearing my Joji Shawl by Joji Locatelli, also Joji Locatelli, and I always use, or I like to use solid colors or semi-solid colors because of my style, I'm more a classic one. I'm not so into the freaky things. I wouldn't ever wear, for example, the designs by Stephen West with all the crazy colors and shapes, and I'm just for the classic things. With everything, in literature, I enjoy the classic ones more than the the today's books. Music, yes, not that I'm hearing classic music in like Mozart, Beethoven, and so on. Yes, I do enjoy them, but I don't hear them that much. But I'm not so into freaky things. Yeah, I like it. I don't know. What do you think? Does that look nice next to my skin? I don't know. But I don't care because it's very squishy. It's my first project with hedgehog fibers, and I can totally recommend hedgehog fibers. I don't know how long it will last. It's not soft sock. That's the base from Molly. It's the sock base. So I think merino nylon or polyamide. But as a shawl, it will be sturdy enough. I can't stop showing it because I think it's so cool. The design is so cool. Okay, that's the Pure Joy, my whip. I'm at my 5th wedge, I guess. Let me count. I have to be careful. Okay, that's the garter tab, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, and I have to do 6. No, let me look again because that was the wrong side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, I'm at my 5th wedge. And oh yes, my progress keeper, so that you know how much I did knit in the last week. When I last showed you, it's always so difficult to show because it's asymmetrical with short rows. It's not easy to show the progress. Okay, there is my progress keeper. And from that point on, I knit all that. I have to show it this way because it's short rows. So you can see all my rows. These rows I did knit. From here to here. It's a lot. It's more than half of the shawl. Yes, I'm knitting this mostly during watching The Mentalist. I'm already at the, now you can only see those colors. At the last season. I'm a bit sad because that means it will be over soon. The seventh season only has, I think, 12 ish episodes. Yes, I don't know if I'm allowed to spoil something, but something happened. I was waiting for so long, and yesterday it did happen. It did happen in the series, and I cried. I cried. It was so romantic. I'm so emotional. I'm such an emotional person. I told you in previous episodes, I do identify with the characters in books or films or series very quick and very much. I live their lives while watching, and so it touches me so much. Okay, my whips. Yes, another whip. I don't know if you can call it. A long time ago, I finished the featherweight cardigan, and I did wear it already at the podcast. But my problem with the featherweight cardigan in this version is I made it out of yak and silk, and so it's very, very drapey and slick. So it often came off my shoulders. Not totally off, but it was disturbing me that I always had to grab my arm or the armpit. And so I decided to sew on a button. So that's the button. That's not very tricky. And a crocheted button loop. No, this. I didn't sew in the ends, weave in the ends, because I don't know if I like the look of it, because it's so stretchy. Maybe I can put a photo here while I'm wearing it, how it looks. It's pulling so much, so it's not very... This cardigan isn't made for buttons. I think if I should have knit a wider or longer collar to be able to button it up. I don't know. Yes, I will see. I think I will do another featherweight cardigan, but out of normal merino wool, for example, or BFL or something else, and not so drapey, slickery and stretchy fiber. And then I think it will sit on the shoulders much better. If you have experience with the featherweight cardigan and a similar problem, please contact me. Because if you say it's always the problem you have with this fit of that cardigan, I won't knit another one. I liked and I enjoyed the knit, and I like the look of the featherweight cardigan, but I really can't stand garments that always have to be refitted while wearing them. And normally I'm wearing a cardigan also. I close my first buttons, and the other ones I leave open. Is that right? So I really only need 1 or 2 buttons on a cardigan. I don't that much enjoy wearing pullovers because I'm getting very hot very quick while working, for example, or when I'm moving, and I like to be able to to wear. In German we say Zwiebelkleidung. That means onion garments, or onion garments. That means that you have many not shades, not shifts. How do you say? In onion has 7. Read the screen, please. And to wear onion garments or Zwiebelkleidung, German word of the day, Zwiebelkleidung, means that you have much... I don't know how to explain it. You wear a lot of things you can pull over or pull off, and you are prepared for every kind of climate, weather, If it's cold, you have something to grab and pull over. If it's too hot, you can take it off, and you have, for example, a t-shirt under it. So you are prepared for every occasion. And pullovers are don't come very handy. You know, you always have to do this and then rearrange everything, and no. I like cardigans. Sometimes it's enough for me to just open the cardigan and pull the sleeves not off, upon, high, you know what I mean. And then I'm comfortable again. Okay, I don't know if that did make sense. I think I need coffee. Yes, I don't know, to talk a bit more smart again. Already cold. It's in my mousse mug. Or is that, I think it's a mousse. It's still a Christmas one. I think it's not really Christmas. It's winter. And we still have winter. It's freezing cold out there. Our snow is melted away, or has melted away already, but today, let me look. Yes, it doesn't snow, but it's freezing cold. And I hope for my birthday I will have sunshine. Every year on my birthday, since I live in Austria, oh no, I have to add tissue. Every year since I live in Austria, on my birthday I have sunshine and warm weather. For February, warm weather, spring weather. My birthday is on the 21st of February and I'm so excited already. Okay. Yes, whips. And then what did I want to show you? Okay, plans. I want to show you my plans. Okay. I purchased at a homespun house, Molly's company, so to say, 2 skeins of DK weight yarn. It's called Serve the Servants. And that's a so nice colorway. Colorway name. And the colorway is pretty. I looked it up today and I think it's a song title. But when I was reading Serve the Servants, I thought of a title of the Pope. Because the Pope has many titles, you know. He is the Bishop of Rome. He is called Pontifex, so he is building the English word blinking. Bridges, sorry. Pontifex means bridge builder. And another title of the Pope is Servant of the Servants. And when I was reading Serve the Servants, I was thinking of the Pope and I liked the colorway name. So it's so pretty. There are all those colors and tones which look nice next to my skin. And with this DK yarn, I want to knit the Among the Shadows shawl by, and I hope I pronounce it right, Killeen Kinnersley, I think. Yes, it's another crescent shaped shawl. I enjoy crescent shapes to wear and to knit. I don't like the triangular ones. And it calls for DK yarn. And Molly only had, when I was looking up her shop, she didn't have this colorway in fingering weight. I saw the colorway a few weeks before already and thought, oh my gosh, that's so pretty, I want to have it. And normally I'm knitting in fingering weight. But then I saw, oh no, only DK weight. What can I do with this DK weight yarn? And then I saw in my Q, is that right pronounced? Q or Q? The Among the Shadows shawl, and thought, perfect, a shawl made of DK weight yarn, Molly, that's mine now. So I'm very happy. I think it will arrive tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. And I will, after finishing the Pure Joy, I won't cast on the Party on My Needles, as I said last episode. I will start with Molly's yarn, the Among the Shadows shawl. Oh my gosh. I love the pattern and I love the colorway. Molly does such a great job. I'm a fan from the early beginnings when yes, she's great. I love her. Molly was, and her podcast was the first podcast I really discovered for me, and because I was searching for German. Let me just check something. Yes, I was searching for German speaking podcasts, and there were none. Or yes, there were more tutorials in German, and yes, but I was searching for podcasts. I wanted to be with someone who share and yes, who shares our or my passion and my hobbies and my thoughts and so on. And then I discovered her, and I watched all the episodes, I think, in 2 weeks or so, and there were a lot already, a lot episodes, and I love her character and her spirit and how she thinks about our crafting stuff. She was the first one, and then I discovered that all the English speaking podcaster and indie dyer or the knitters who use indie dyed yarns and this specific knitting world. The knitting world is big, but this specific knitting world, that all the people are the same and we all think the same or have the same, I don't know, habit in our hobby. It's not a hobby. I have never heard someone on the podcast calling this a hobby. It's always called passion, love, or And yes, but she was the first one I discovered who told about knitting in that way, because here in Austria, the most ones, there are a few different knitters, but the most ones in Austria and Germany don't spend much money on yarn or on your tools, or would use expensive hand-sewn project bags or use special soap for soaking our socks or using sock blockers, and it's so different. In German we would say Zugang. Maybe you can read it on the screen now. Yes, I think, and that's why I'm doing the podcast in English. These knitters we all love and we all like to follow on Instagram or subscribe on YouTube. By the way, you can subscribe the podcast if you want to be updated with the notifications. They crafting with a heart, Maybe that sounds silly for you, but that's the way I think. Okay. Yes, the Among the Shadows shawl. And then I showed you, yes, I showed you the cashmere tweed I have, and I wanted to knit the Rocky Coast cardigan out of this yarn, but then I wasn't sure because the yarn is very tweed-like busy with the speckles and so on, and it's a bit darker. It's this burgundy yarn, and you weren't really able to see the pattern, and it's pretty, yes, not complicated, but not really popcorny. And if you invest so much brain power in a pattern, you want to see the pattern. And so I decided now that I won't knit the Rocky Coast cardigan out of this yarn. I will knit the Rocky Coast, but out of a lighter yarn, a bright, that you can see the pattern. Maybe white or cream or, I don't know, orange, in that way. But the burgundy yarn I would use for the Georgetown cardigan, also by Hannah Feddick. I'm at the point now where I have favorite designers, and my two favorite designers are Joji Locatelli and Hannah Feddick, because of their simple, easy, and classic designs. As I said, I'm not so into Stephen West and all the craziness about it, and also the Find Your Fate shawl isn't right for me, because it's, yes, you can use muted colors, but it's not, yes, I'm a classic girl, I'm sorry. So I will do the Georgetown, because it's tailored, Is it right? So it's more a fitted cardigan, but it's an open cardigan without the troubles with buttonholes and all that stuff and brain power you have to use for that. So it's like the featherweight cardigan, but with worsted weight yarn, which my yarn is, and it's fitted, what the featherweight cardigan isn't. So it's perfect. That's the only thing I don't like about the featherweight cardigan, that's it's so slouchy. I always wear my tops and t-shirts and pullovers, if I wear pullovers, cardigans, dresses fitted. I don't like the slouchiness. Yes, that was a thing. And other purchases, I placed an order on or at the shop of fondant fibers. I ordered a fingering weight yarn in the colorway Cornflower Meadow. I already have a mini by her and in that colorway. I'm sorry. And in the episode I shared the mini with you, I already said I would love to have a full skein of that colorway. And now I saw in her shop that she has one, and I immediately put it into the cart and bought it. She has it on MCN base and on normal sock yarn, and I think I purchased it on the normal sock yarn. I wanted to buy 3 skeins out of this to make a cardigan out of this colorway, but unfortunately also she only had from the on the MCN base and on the normal sock yarn base, blend base, she only had 1 skein, unfortunately. And I purchased a needle cozy DPN holder from her. I like her stuff and her shop. My project bag I use the most is also from Fondant Fiber. Also classic, you know, I don't like the screaming loud things. I like muted, classic, you know. And I purchased at Jelly Beans Yarns, first time, there 2 skeins of yarn because it's my birthday month. And I told you I had to wait for a specific decision, which would have cost me a lot. And now I know I don't have to spend the money on that, and I can spend the money on yarn and the crafty things. So I decided to purchase 2 skeins. The first skein looks similar to Fairy Hair from the Woolen Vine Yarns shop, and I have never been able to catch an update from her. So I decided to buy Fairy Wings, and the other colorway is called Spark. And maybe I will have to see them in person, but maybe I will pair them together because I think they complement each other and I could make a shawl out of them. Yes, I'm so in the shawl knitting kick at the moment. I want to knit all the shawls. Yes, these purchases I will show you immediately when I have them. Maybe I will squeeze in a vlog when I have them and show, hey, look here, happy mail. There is nothing more pleasant like receiving yarn. When the postman rings at your door and give you the parcel or the package and you know it's yarn in here. It's the most brilliant way to spend money. And books. Books and yarn. I don't need a lot to be happy, just books and yarn. Yeah, and then there was another thing. Oh yes. Okay. When I was younger, I would say when I was a child, but no, when I was, I think 13 to 15 in these years, also earlier in the primary school, I started to stitch. Not to cross stitch. Cross-stitching isn't that typical in Germany. We learned at school different types of stitches. I only know the German name. For example, the Spannstich, or I can show you here a few stitches in your language, in English. So it's called, the way of stitching I learned, it's called, I think it's a French word, gobelin. when I was a child, I always said Gobelin. And around Christmas or in the autumn and winter time, many grocery stores like Lidl or Aldi sold kits, stitching kits, and you had the fabric, the linen, or I don't really know the correct terms in stitching or cross stitching. So the linen you had to stitch on, and the painting or the picture you were going to stitch was printed on the fabric already in the colors, and then you had a color chart on the side, and you became not became you received in the kit also the threads, and then you only had to stitch after the picture because it was printed on. And that was the only way I did stitch. And I did stitch German word Tischdecken, read the screen. And it was the same. The pattern was already printed on the fabric and you only had to stitch. But I never did cross stitching. So I so want to start cross stitching because Nina did show many times her frosted pumpkin stitchery things. She did a whole sampler, the Once Upon a Time sampler, and I always thought it's so cute and pretty, and it doesn't look that complicated because I did a lot different stitches, so I think cross stitching can't be that difficult because you only do crosses. Maybe I'm totally wrong because I never stitched on a blank fabric, so that will be new to me, but I don't think that it can be so difficult. And now I'm old enough to weave in on the back side in that way that it won't unravel, because that was a problem I had when I was younger. It became unraveled after washing read the screen. It wasn't that, yes, it broke, the yarn broke and came out, and that was very frustrating. And yes, and I downloaded the pattern from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, the tea time, I think it's a pen pal. No, it's not a pen pal thing, but it's a tiny little picture. But then I was confused, I didn't know where to purchase the threads. They linked to a website, but to buy all the single threads and to pay the shipping, that was too much for me for the beginning. So I will wait with the tea time, and instead of starting this I purchased at Butinet. I told you about that online shop already. I purchased 2 bookmarks, a kit that comes with 2 bookmarks and the threads for 2 bookmarks, and it's so perfect for me because it's a coastal northern sea style one, and I love the colors and I love the picture, so it's perfect, and I will check it out with this. I think it's also a small and easy project to start cross stitching, and I'm looking forward to starting it. Yes, that was a thing I wanted to show you and share with you. All that crafting stuff is, I thought maybe I could tell you. My mom already was, not already, I'm sorry, always gifted me and my siblings at least one crafting thing for Christmas. Because and always a different crafting technique. She gifted us, or me, the stitching kits, and then for as a wall hanger, and then stitching kits for Tischdecken. Then we have another technique which is called Knüpfen. Knüpfen you can knüpf. carpets and pillows. That these two things are mostly the projects you do with this technique. So I did a pillow with the sunflower in this technique. Then she mostly knüpfen and stitching she gifted us. Knitting and crocheting I learned at school, and she supported me in these things. She taught me how to knit in the round with DPNs and to knit socks, but the heel and all that stuff I taught myself with YouTube videos. But yes, my mom can do everything. She is able to sew, to crochet, to knit. She can knüpfen, read the screen. And also my grandma, she passed away already, but my grandma worked for a company who was sewing curtains and so on, but mostly curtains. So she was a professional sewer, so to say. And maybe it's in my blood to craft, because mostly or often I heard from people that the things I do, whether it's sewing or crocheting or knitting, that I do it so good as for a beginner. In knitting I'm not a beginner anymore, but in sewing and crocheting I'm definitely a beginner. And when I was starting to sew, I never took a class or something. I learned the techniques in school, but it's long time ago. And I never finished something. We had to sew a toy pillow in an elephant shape, and I didn't enjoy it in school. No, because of my teacher. She was so strict and so mean, and I didn't like her. I'm sorry. Yes, but what was I going to say? Yes, but genau, German again, indeed. I wanted to have project bags, and I saw the tutorial from Hugh Loco, and thought that can't be that difficult, because everyone is doing it and selling them, so why shouldn't I be able to do that? And I grabbed the things I had and just tried. I bought a used sewing machine, because my sewing machine my mom gifted me was broken. I I did something wrong when I was sewing jeans. I wanted to make the jeans shorter, and I didn't know by then that I should have used another needle, and the needle broke, and something in the machine got tangled, and we weren't able to fix it. So yes, I bought a very cheap used machine and started to sew. And my former, read the screen, my former Vermieter, I'm still in contact with her because I like her very much. I showed her my first projects, because I knew she was sewing also, and she was sewing very complicated things also by hand. The Austrian dirndl, for example, she sewed, and she sewed trousers and very difficult things. So I showed her, and she said, "You did a bag with a zipper for the first project you sew?" And I thought, yes, why not? Wow, that's brilliant. And what I was going to say is, I always come into this situation that I thought that can't be so difficult, and then other people say, oh my gosh, for the first project you're a beginner, and that looks so good, also in knitting and in crocheting. I don't know what it is. I'm very grateful for that talent, maybe. I don't know. I won't say that I'm so great and everything. I honestly, I didn't know it until some people said, "Oh my gosh, you're talented," or "Oh my gosh, that looks so great." And I think it's a heritage from my family, and I think it's cool. I'm very grateful that I'm able to go on with that tradition of crafting, like my mom and my grandma and maybe my grandma's grandma. And yes, it's nice. It's a nice heritage. Much cooler than to get money from your further relatives, you know. That's great. Yeah, that's a great thing. Oh, other plans. And I have to say something about the shawl, because I didn't tell you that I changed my color choice for the border. I used now the mm, hmm, Lana Grossa. Yes, Lana Grossa Meilenweit. It's the same blue I used in my 3 Colors of Kashmir shawl, because it's MCN blend. In the beginning, I wanted to use this because I thought, hey, that would look so brilliant, because the browns in this colorway, it's Chicory by, I think, Malabrigo, would pick up the brown I used in the lace section. But then I added it, and it didn't look blue. Here it looks blue, I think, but when I added the color, it looked so greenish, and it didn't complement the whole looking of the shawl at all. So I had to rip out 4 rows of border, only garter, but 4 rows on a shawl which has, I don't know, 400 stitches. That was, oh, I didn't enjoy it, but I'm definitely also a product knitter, and so I wanted to have a nice product, and I think these colors go so perfect together. And this will become a pair of socks for my dad, because they sent me a big Christmas parcel, and I didn't know that they would do it, so I didn't send them anything, and they didn't expect anything. But when I received it, I was so embarrassed, or I don't know the right word, and I said to my mom, no, I don't have anything for you, and I'm so sorry, I didn't know that we want to gift each other something. And then she said, if you really want to do something, you don't have to do it, we just wanted to gift you something, but if you want to do something, knit us to a pair of socks. And this will be socks for my dad, but I think I will need a contrasting color, because he has shoe size 45, German 45. You will read the US size on the screen. And mostly you have enough for at least 45 in one skein of yarn. But I have never knit with this yarn, so I don't know. So I will do contrasting heel, cuff and toe in brown, but I still need a corresponding color to make sure that I can finish a pair of socks for him. And my mom picked the colors. I showed her my yarn stash, and she was allowed to pick the colors for my dad and because my dad doesn't care about the colors. And she did pick for herself the knit picks. It's where's the colorway name? Candy Jar. And it's so unbelievable squishy. And she did choose this. And for her, I will use contrasting white, I think. For my dad, it's just because it's nice to knit someone a pair of socks. But for my mom, hand knit socks are very important, because she can't wear industrial socks, because she has problems on her legs, and she can't. The most socks are too tight for her, so I will how can I explain it? Yes, I will knit the leg very stretchy, maybe the whole leg in rib, 1 by 1 ribbing, so that it's comfortable for her and not hurting her. So she only wears hand knit socks at the moment, and she has another lady who knits socks for her, and now I will knit her a pair of socks. And this pair of socks will be really a very important thing. I think it's always nice to gift someone a pair of socks, but if you know the person really needs that pair of socks because she only can wear hand knit socks, I think it's much more great. So I will start with her pair of socks. I still have to wait for her measurements because I won't knit after my normal my normal schedule is the wrong word. I have a Tabelle, a chart. I think it's a chart. Yes, and there are listed all the sizes and then how many stitches you need and how many stitches for the heel and for the toe and so on, and increases and so on. But for her it will be totally customized to fit her feet and her legs. And the funny thing is, both skeins of yarn, or both the yarns, I have received from Sarah, the Love Sockwool podcast hostess. So Sarah, your presents will be well used and used often. Now I need a sip of water. That's my Minions glass. Banana! They are so funny. I like the Minions films. Let me think and look. I think, yes, that was everything for now towards knitting. Yes, I shared a photo with you on Instagram. I was at the ball I was talking about in previous episodes. And you asked, a lot of you, also Nina and other ones, asked over the comments on Instagram if I had a nice ball night. Yes, so I live in Austria. I live in Lower Austria. And the balls in Lower Austria often are very folk-like. I'm sorry, I really hate Austrian folk music. I hate it. I so hate it. When I hear the typical Austrian music, maybe I can put it under what I'm talking about now, or I will insert a video or an audio clip that you have an idea of what I'm talking about. When I hear this kind of music, it's also like the Bavarian folk music, I'm getting very angry. I don't know what it is, but I really do hate it. Normally, at balls, you have music, a mix of music, all styles of music, pop music, classic music, folk music, and then a thing that we call Schlager music. So, yes. But at this ball, unfortunately, most of the time they played this kind of folk music, Austrian folk music. So is the companion the right word? The guy I went with to the ball, and me really didn't enjoy the music. So we didn't dance. We didn't dance at once because we looked at each other and said, "I'm sorry, I really would like to dance with you, but not to that music." So I was happy that he thought the way that I did, so we wasn't angry at each other. But although we had a very nice evening, because I like to dress myself up and to have a nice looking guy next to me in a suit, and everything is very pretty, and we had a good dinner there, and yes. So the evening was okay, but I wasn't able to dance, and I wanted to dance. So maybe still this year in the Fasching season. Fasching, Carnival, is kind of the 5th season here in Austria, and they do balls also till the the Easter time begins, or the time before Easter, the Lent. Before the Lent begins, we have Carnival, Fasching. It's called Fasching in Austria. In German, we say Carnival, Karnevale, but that will go too far if I will explain it. And If we won't go this year to a ball, then next year, and then I think we will go in Vienna. Because Vienna has, in the December, January and a bit of February, it's ball season in Austria. And in Vienna you have every day a ball in that season. Really every day. Also in the week and on the weekends. And they are every ball in Vienna is very special and classic and yes, also very expensive. But yes, that's worth it, I think, the experience and everything. So I like to have yes, as I said, I enjoyed to be dressed up and go with a very good looking, good smelling guy to the ball. And yes, it was funny. We had a joy and a blast because we were a bit mean. Yes, we made fun of all that crazy Austrian folk stuff. Yes. Yes, another thing I wanted to add. We have a question thread in our Revelry group, and if you want to know something, because I was asked many things, if you want to know, one viewer asked me where I studied, what I studied, and so on and so forth. If you want to know something about me, my private life, or the knitting stuff, you can put your questions there, and maybe I will answer the question in the thread, or I will take the question as a segment, Ask Me Anything segment in the podcast. I think that's the best way. Some things I can answer easily in 2 sentences, but if it's a more detailed question, I will answer it here in the podcast. So, but today I think it's long enough. Let me check. Yes, it's definitely long enough, so I won't answer a question today. I hope you did enjoy the show. If you did, like the episode if you want to, and subscribe my channel. And I'm looking forward hearing and reading from you, and we will see each other next week. And have a nice knitting. Bye bye.